What's up, gang? This is Mike with my real estate dojo, and today I'm going to be giving you a breaking news about how China, Yuan, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but their money is now going to be backed by gold. Okay, very, very important. Now, what does this mean for you and me, for little guys like ourselves? A couple of things, guys, and I'm going to go into it. But right off the bat, this is very, very dangerous for small guys like you and me, because the economy, this hurts the economy, as what we know, because our system is debt based. Okay. The second thing is that it's going to cause war, or the probability of having war, and this is just my opinion, guys. Okay. All right. So let me pull the curtain back and explain what's going on. On my Facebook account on Monday, which was, I posted that the China Yang, what is it called?
I don't know. Yuan? Yuan? I don't know.
I'm sorry, I can't pronounce it. Is now backed by gold. And so what they're trying to do is basically break away the petrodollar power of America. For many of us that don't know what the petrodollar is, that the reason that the US dollar is pegged with all the other currencies in the world, like China, Russia, whatever, all the other ones, right, are pegged on this because of the petrodollar. The reason is, back in the days, one of the presidents went to the Middle East and made a agreement with OPEC and said that if you guys want to buy and sell your gas, you should only use the dollar. Okay, and that was the agreement. Okay, no, buddy. All right, sorry guys. So the president made an agreement with the OPEC countries that if they want to sell their gas, they will only accept US dollars, and then every country in the world that wants to buy gas, they have to pay the OPEC country with the US dollars. So if you're China, if you're Iran, you're Latin America, it doesn't matter. Okay, so whatever currency you have, if I'm China, I have to trade my currency for the US dollars and then go buy gasoline and oil from the OPEC countries. So since oil is the #1 resource used for all the countries, and since the only way to buy oil or gas is to have US dollars, basically US dollars equals, petrodollars, which petrodollars equals the world dollar. When I say the world, it's like everything's pegged on that, right? Other currencies of the different countries are pegged on the petrodollars. So that's why we have so much wealth and power in America, because we have a Federal Reserve that prints out money, right, out of thin air, and it's not backed by any kind of resources like gold or silver or anything. Okay, and that's why we have so much power, because the Treasury borrows from the Federal Reserve, and it's not like we have this much money and we have this much resources. In the whole world, let's say there's only this much resources, but we can print unlimited amount of money. So this is what the problem is becoming in twofolds: from Mother Nature, from us polluting it, but more importantly, other countries like China, like Russia, they're not liking this, like Iran, like Brazil. They're not liking this, because at any time, our government has the power to not take their money, or inflate our money and hurt their money, whatever. Okay, and so China and Russia have been buying significant amount of gold in the previous years, and this is what their plan apparently is, that what they're trying to do is create another level of world currency, because right now it's the petrodollars. They're trying to create a different world currency where people can buy and sell with the Chinese currency, and then take it and go and get gold from it at their exchange right in China, guys. Okay, so why is that important? Because twofold. China and Russia and Iran and Brazil, what they're trying to do is create a different channel. Like imagine like Visa and MasterCard and Credit Card Express, those are their only 3 channels to exchange. Imagine Russia's trying to create their own, or China's create their own. And what they're trying to do is allow other countries to say, look, if I want to come use your system, because your system is not fiat, your system is not inflated, is actually based by a natural resources that's on Earth. So if we have this much gold and we only have this much trees, it's somewhat equivalent. Where, you know, right now we just print just the US dollars. So these other countries, they want to have their own, let's say, monetary system that the whole world can use, okay, for them to exchange all kinds of goods. Instead of the US dollar, China and Russia want to use the yang, or at least Russia wants, and they're backing up by gold, which tells any country, look, you could just, for example, buy your gas with the yang, and then, you know, or you could sell it to us and we give you yang, and then you come to our exchange and actually get gold for it. And every part of the world, believe it or not, people love gold besides America. Everyone has gold, you know, in America, people, not that many people have gold. It's a very important, and that's what the original money was based off of. And what China is doing is they're creating a system where it's backed by gold, and what they want to do is probably have Iran sell them gold and convert some of the other OPEC countries, okay, to, instead of just taking dollars, they can start taking yang, because it's actually backed by gold. They could take that yang, and that country that sold them the oil, let's say it was Iran, Iran sold China the oil, right? And then they give them their currency, which is yang. And Iran doesn't want it, right? And they don't want yang. Like, who wants that, right? Unless you live there. But they can go right back to China's exchange and get a bunch of gold. Iran wants gold. India wants gold. Pakistan wants gold. Everybody wants fucking gold. So that's the real money. And so what that means is that it makes the petrodollar very weak. And as more countries leave the petrodollar, there's like, no, I'm just willing to buy oil or gas from this monetary system. Okay, as more countries leave, then it makes our money very, very weak, because it's not backed by anything, just by belief system. And you know, right now the reason we're able to fuel all these wars and bomb all these people is because, you know, our monetary system, you know, is just printing out anything, and we can fuel all that, and all these countries are buying our debt. But eventually other countries are not going to do that. And what that means for you and me as small business owner is your money, inflation is already going up every year. It's probably going to inflate more. It's not going to have any value. But more importantly, there may be, you know, economic collapse, okay, as the petrodollar falls, as the power of your purchasing power falls, okay, as more people don't want, when I say people, other countries don't want to deal with the US dollar or hold US dollars. People want to hold US dollars because right now, like for example, if you do a currency exchange from America, $1 in America, you'll get like 50 rupees in India. And the reason is because of the petrodollar, okay? If petrodollar falls, then there's not going to be such an inflation in different currencies. Does that make sense? It's gold. Like 1 ounce of gold is the same ounce of gold in India and Pakistan and China. It doesn't matter. But $1 US and 1 rupee in India don't have the same buying power because of the inflation of the Federal Reserve that creates, not only for me and you as US citizens, but also around the world, okay? So by China and Russia doing this, the two things that can happen that I think, in my opinion, you know, I don't have a crystal ball, is that it's going to escalate. It's going to add to the weight of the economic collapse, because we have so much debt ceiling the government. The people don't have any money. Everything's driven on debt. And the last recession, we really haven't got a strong comeback. The interest rates are extremely fucking low. You know, real estate, there's bubbles everywhere. I've been in Denver, I've been in Dallas, bubbles. And eventually, as the load gets on top, it's gonna break, okay? And this is one of the major things that I believe that can be cause of it. The other thing that I see that can happen for sure is, you know, war. US with China, US with Russia. And the reason I say that is because if you just look back in history just a couple of years ago, like Iraq, Okay, Iraq wasn't about weapons of mass destruction. You know, some people can argue about that, but what really happened, and we can see a paper trail of this, is that Iraq decided they're not going to accept for their gas the petrodollar anymore. They were going to accept euros. Okay, after a certain amount of time, bombs went. Okay, the same thing happened with the guy Lebanon, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so once the current country says, look, I'm going to abandon the petrodollar and I'm going to use my own system, or I'm going to use gold, and if you look back to a couple of different countries in the past, let's say 10, 15 years, you see that happening. Okay, then you realize that the petrodollar is what makes America great, and America's not going to want to lose its power, the petrodollars. And so, you know, China and Russia are trying to create a different, let's say, Chinese dollar or Yang dollar instead of the petrodollar, right? So, and the possibility is that by them doing that, it's going to make our economy collapse, and Big Brother's probably not going to like that much. So the probability is like war if we just look at history. Now, you know, I don't want war. I don't want, you know, I love and peace, and that's why I'm doing this stuff, because, you know, on the news, you don't see that on the CNN. They're not talking about it. People don't know what the petrodollar is. 90% of people, if not more, don't know how our money is made. They think, they don't know how it's made. They think it's made. Some people think it's backed by gold. Some people think it's this. It's just nothing, dude. It's not backed by anything. That's why year after year have so much inflation. That's why if you're saving money, you lose buying power year after year. And I wanted to bring this to you because as a real estate investor, as an entrepreneur, it's not all gloom and doom, right? There's opportunities for people like me and you that are hungry, that want to make something happen, because when the crash comes, when everybody and their fucking mama is running this way, Mr. Mike D with the dojo is going to be going this way, right? So everybody's going this way, I'm going to go this way. That's why I'm trying to tell you, it's not gloom and doom, is that, hey, opportunities coming, right? And we can't control it as little guys, right? But we can make sure that we're ready to capitalize on that opportunity. Like when the crash comes, or the real estate bubble busts, because so many people bought with all these crazy stuff. Like I reported on my Facebook just a couple of weeks ago how, you know, Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae, or, you know, I know they joined, but what they're doing is changing the loan ratio, because so many people, debt to loan ratio, because so many people have debt, right? And they can qualify for a mortgage, right? So since people can't qualify for a mortgage, then the economy is not going to be moving like the Federal Reserve wants, right? So what they're trying to do is, you know, make more people qualify. So all these doctors or lawyers, or, you know, people that have all this high masters or PhD debt that couldn't get a house because they have so much debt, they manipulated the income to death ratio for them to be able to qualify. So what I've been telling people is, and what I've realized is, what I think is going to happen to, you know, to my friends when I talk, is the 2007 fourth quarter crash, 2008, was, you know, the bankers ripping off the non-smart people, okay? So there were some smart people, you can't just say that, but in a general, if there was a spectrum right here, I would say this much of it, right, were people that didn't have college degrees, or people that were like immigrants, and, you know, right, and there were people in there, but they took advantage of all the people that were like a 4-year college degree or less, right? So again, the bankers took advantage of all the people called the subprime, right? Anybody that had probably 4-year college degrees or less. I'm sure there was people that had masters and doctors that got in that situation, but their main target was this. And the way I see it now, with them changing the laws for people to be able to qualify for FHA loans and stuff like that, changing the debt to income ratio, is now I see them, the stinky bankers, going after, you know, the higher educated people, like people that have masters, the people that have PhDs, people that are professionals like CPA, like attorney, these people that have the significant debt, right? They're trying to allow them to borrow money. So the next crash that comes, the first time they stole the wealth from all the, you know, low and medium level people. This time they're gonna steal all the wealth from the medium and the, you know, the professional wealthy, not the 1%. You understand what I'm saying? Because who are these people that have these $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 debts? The people that have professional degrees, okay, can't qualify for a loan or what have you, conventional or FHA or VA, whatever. So now they're making it easier to secure for a lender to give out a loan, because, you know, the taxpayer like me and you will bail out Freddie Mac or Freddie Mae or, you know, whatever other banker or other institution the next crash, because we already did that. You know, the last crash, I don't know if you guys remember, we had to bail out all these fucking stinky bankers and, you know, shitty ass auto companies that, you know, had inferior products versus other companies. Now, I love Americans made stuff, right? I'm not dissing on it, right? But if you have shitty ass product and your competition across the sea has better product, then you shouldn't get bailed out, dude. You don't get bailed out. I don't get bailed out. So why should a big ass corporation that's too big to fall? No, let them fucking fall. At least that's my theory, dude. Because when other big corporations fall, guys like you and me are able to create opportunities, okay? But when we protect these big guys, then there's less opportunities for small guys like me and you, and that's not really a free market. A free market doesn't care if you're Tyson and you fall, or if you're just a new guy. You know, it doesn't give a fuck. If you don't do your shit, you don't prepare enough, you don't do your due diligence, you're not willing to take the right risk. If you take too much risk, then you pay the consequences. So going back to the story, guys, the real estate crash is coming. I see it everywhere. I'm in Denver. I've been here for almost 4 or 5 months. In the past 10 years, I've looked at so many different houses. You know, I see that in the last like 10 years, a house has doubled in price. Just doubled. So let's say the house is a $300,000 home, now it's $600,000. Okay, and at the same time, if you look around, they're building everywhere in Denver. Like left, there's cranes everywhere. You know, outside on the outside of the out away from the cities. You know where I live, they're building like crazy. They're building homes. They're, you know, and there's a lot of commercial properties where I am, right by the Boulder area, where vacant. So there's a lot of commercial properties vacant, and they're trying to knock it down and turn it into apartment complexes and things of that nature. But they're doing so much, you know, development, right? And then once that crash comes, man, I feel like the bubble's gonna burst significantly. Not every place in America, but definitely Texas. You know, they're growing significantly there. Definitely Denver. Now Texas is not as inflated as, you know, Denver. So when it busts, you might only get like 10%, 15%, like last time, 2007 fourth quarter crash. Okay, but Denver, you know, I don't have a crystal ball, but I would say at least it's gonna, you know, come down 40, 50%, because there's no way in hell that the property value can go up in just 10 years so much, guys. Questions?
We have a couple of comments. Arthur says, I want gold.
Me too, man. Hey, gold actually has gone up $100 an ounce. So what, for example, if you would have bought $50,000 of gold in December of 2006, right, which is just like a few months ago, right, that $50,000 would have gone up already $7,000 plus, because it's gone up. So $100 per ounce. Does that make sense, guys? So yeah, gold is always a good. People say silver. You know, I bought a little silver. I haven't seen silver go up much. You know, maybe $1 or something. So I'm not a big fan of silver. Gold all the way.
Sean is asking how much money is needed to start investing in real estate. I live in Southern California. Prices are insane.
Man, amen, man. I agree with you. It's kind of like Colorado here, okay? Now, this is something that I was talking to my woman, and I was telling her that it's the mindset, okay? Because what happens is, in a good economy, right, there's not that much inventory. People are paying over, right? The retail, the MLS, the realtors, people are paying over. So if you're able to get even a deal like 10%, 15%, 8% below, right, that you're going to be able to find cash buyers or retail buyers instantly because there's not that much inventory, okay? And if you're able to, you know, negotiate, let's say your owner financing, then the same thing's going to happen. You're even going to have more feeding, okay? Because there's low inventory and people are willing to pay more, so they're not looking to get as much as a discount. And so the thing is, on a good market, it's harder to find sellers to buy at a deeper discount, right? They're always going to be out there, guys. There's always people going through divorces, people losing their job, health loss, job transfer, all kinds of shit, right? Those things are always going to be there. But I'm talking about when the media's telling you on the TV, on the news, your taxi driver, everybody's talking about short sales, then there's a lot of people that are going to sell their fucking home that don't need to, right? Because of fear. So that's when you have so much more. So what I'm trying to say, my friend, is that it doesn't matter if it's a good market or a down market, there's always going to be positives and negatives. On a good market, the negative is there's not that much inventory, but the positive is you're able to buy it. You know, there's a lot of buyers to buy it, you know, at 10% below market. Does that make sense? Now, the good news is when the market is down, you're able to get a lot of stuff, right? Deep discount. Everybody has fear. You're able to get subject twos or owner financing, okay, where you don't have to bring any of your money or very little of your money, okay? But the problem is when you get these deals under contract, since everybody and their mama is running this way, because the house is on fire, the economy's on fire, everybody's going this way, it's going to be hard to find people that says, you know what, I'm going to go into the fire like Mike D, right? Or like the way I teach you in my I Am Mastermind. And that's why I think is the best time to go in the fire, because everybody and their mama is going this way. Is there a risk? Absolutely. You can lose your shirt, you get that, all right? That's the real world. But if I'm going to take a risk, I'm going to take a risk when I could get 1,000 times fold, or do you want to take a risk where you could just double your money? I already take that same risk where I can get 1,000 times fold. And of course, that's the most dangerous time. So what I'm trying to tell you, my friend, is when the economy is down, you're going to be able to find a lot of motivated sellers. You're going to get great deals on the contract. However, it's going to be harder for you to wholesale these to people. It's going to be harder for you to find retail buyers because everybody's scarce. Everybody's listening on the radio like, oh shit, the real estate market is a bad investment. It's bad. Now everyone wants to get into real estate because if you're looking on Facebook, you're looking on YouTube, you're looking on TV, everyone's getting in real estate, right? Everyone, right? Because the market is good. When the market crashes, no one's thinking about that, dude. Same thing with Bitcoins. When it went from boom, $8, I wasn't thinking about it, right? Only I started thinking about it when it was at $800. I was like, hold on, it's almost as price as gold, okay? But now, if I bought Bitcoins, or if you bought Bitcoins, you just saw that I just posted on my Facebook that Bitcoin has crashed $1,400-1,500, right? So, you know, people are in it right now because everybody says the market is good, and the market is good. I'm not disagreeing with it, okay? But I know it's going to crash. But it doesn't matter if it's up or down. I teach in my I Am Mastermind, guys, that you can make money in either way. It doesn't matter what it is, up or down. There's positive and negatives, and there's positive and negatives. The thing that's going to help you determine if you're going to get the positive or your negative is your mindset. If your fucking mindset is negative, then you'll get the fucking negative if the economy's up. If your mindset is negative and the economy's down, you're going to get the negative. And that's what it is. If your mindset is positive, then and the economy's up, you go for the positive. If your mindset is positive and the economy's down, you go for the positive and mastermind on it. Okay, guys? So this is the reason why America is so great, why I have so much love for this country, because you can make money no matter who you are, dude. You have to put stuff in your brain, guys, okay? That was a good comment. Anything else?
And then you also have that video, 9 ways to fund your deal on your blog.
Beautiful. If you go to my website, my real estate dojo, you ask me about money. I show you 9 ways, guys, to fund real estate with no money, dude. None of your own money, just creative ways to do it, okay? I talk about some of the stuff like other people talk about, like hard money lending. But again, I say, fuck this stinky banker. I don't like to, borrow money from a banker, dude, okay? I don't like to put stuff on credit. I don't like debt. So what I like to do is I show you exactly what I like to do in my 9 videos, guys. Just go to my blog channel to say it all over. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. And Universal Vibes, I think you answered this while you were talking, but he or she is saying same thing happening in UK, housing bubble and economy. What is your take on cryptocurrencies with the oncoming reset? Also, why are you not as bullish on silver as you are on gold?
Hey, thank you so much, man. This is exactly, thank you for commenting, because this supports exactly what I'm saying with about this video, that since China's making their currency, you know, they know, Russia knows, like some of these other countries know that there's a massive inflation, there's massive crashes going to be happening in the UK, in Canada, I mean in America. The real estate is so inflated in Canada. I don't know about UK, but I looked around in Canada, and it's just so, and that's why I've been saying, that's why I invested in gold, is because there's going to be, I don't have a crystal ball, I don't know shit, but dude, I'm a refugee, don't even listen to me. But in my opinion, the way I'm acting is there's going to be a global crash. The reason there's going to be a global crash is because what we talked about earlier, that all the world currencies, UK, India, Pakistan, whatever, they're all pegged by the petrodollar, which is what we talked about earlier. And if you don't, just go back, you understand what I'm saying. So once one country falls, this country's economy falls. It's like a domino effect, because it's all pegged by the petrodollar, right? Or if America's economy falls, Great Britain, Canada, all these other people's economy is going to fall. And that's why China and Russia and other countries like Brazil, they're trying to get away from the petrodollar, because they see this happening, bubbles everywhere. You know, that's what I think. Now, you asked me, why do I not like to go get in silver? 2 reasons, dude. When I was a refugee in Iran, we came to America, my dad brought gold. I don't remember him bringing silver. And I don't remember like everybody in the world being like, silver, 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 okay? Some people say silver's gonna go to 100, that's great, and maybe it will. I have a little silver, I'm not dissing on it, okay? Now, the reason I personally bought gold is because if I buy, let's say, $1,000 worth of silver, right, I might get a kilo of silver and then a couple of ounces. That's pretty damn heavy. But with $1,000 of gold, I'm not even gonna get 1 ounce. So the density is less. So I could have more wealth in a very dense ounce of, you know, gold, where if I had silver, I would have briefcases of silver. Like if I invested 100K in silver, I would have so much fucking space of silver. And I don't want to be like that, because if something happens, let's say natural disaster, this and that, or economy collapses or whatever, who wants to lug around that much silver, right? Does that make sense? And so, because of the density being low, because every part of the world, they know gold, I think for me, gold is the best option. You have to do your own research, but this is why I like gold more. Thank you for answering.
One more. Sean is asking, what would be a good ideal investment to start? Buy land, duplex, fourplex, single family home? He's asking for your opinion.
Okay, hey man, that's a very, very good question. And I remember when I was starting out, I was thinking the same exact thing. Let me tell you guys, when I first started out, before I really got into the real estate business, because I didn't get into it to 2007, the 4th quarter. I remember exactly when I got into it, because the market had crashed and I knew how to get into it. I didn't know shit. But before that, let's forward like 4 or 5 years before that, when I didn't know left from nothing. I just want to know, I knew real estate was the shit. I was gonna get on eBay and buy fucking land, like pay 10 grand. I was gonna buy a bunch of them. Thank God I didn't, okay? So what should you buy? Trust me, I've been there. That's a good question. The number 1 thing you should buy, dude, is, because don't ask people what you should do. If you put into here, you'll know what to do, okay, my friend? And that's the most important thing. What I try to teach at the dojo, especially at I Am Mastermind, is I don't know anything, right? I'm constantly learning, and I don't want to be claimed I'm a master of shit. I'm a jackass of everything. I don't know shit. I'm everyday learning. I rather learn and say I don't know anything, and that way I could, you know, get more information, right? And so the best thing to do is to put the shit into your mind, like what you're doing right now. You're watching, you're absorbing, you're learning. The more you learn and the more you hang around with people, the more success you're gonna have. For example, I saw on Facebook this gentleman talk about, he just bought a subject to, he spent $5,000 and give it to the wholesaler, and then the wholesaler, the seller didn't want to do the deal anymore, and the wholesaler had to go off with the money, didn't want to give the money back. And I was thinking, man, if I was the wholesaler that was part of my student at the IM Mastermind, I wouldn't teach them like that, right? Because it's not the right way to do business. And if I was the investor that bought the subject to, and they were in my IM Mastermind, that only cost 97 bucks a month because I'm just starting it out, because there's a sell, normally it's 197, I would teach him not to give that 5,000 and position him where he would save his money. So, you know, number one thing is put the information in your mind. Number two thing is to hang around people that may have stronger and more powerful information, but also hang around with people that have hunger. Because, for example, you know, I was telling my girlfriend that, hey, I have to hang around with more hungry people, because no matter how strong my information is, how much information I have, if I only hang out with me, I'm not, you know, if I'm grinding 7 days a week and I'm doing this, sometimes I feel isolated because everybody and their mama is not doing that. On the weekends they're having fun, on Saturdays, Sundays, fun day, and I'm just grinding. But if I hang out with a bunch of other people who are actually working out on their dreams like I am, then I feel like I'm a part of a team. We're at the fucking gym, we're at the dojo, and we're all. So the two thing is, you gotta put the information in your mind, and then you gotta hang out with people that are fucking hungry, so you don't feel like you're in isolation, you don't feel like you're an outcast, or you don't feel like you're alone trying to be your dreams, because everyone in your mama, unless you have a great family, my mama and everybody I knew tells. Anything else?
All
right, guys, if you like this video, please like. If you think this was very helpful, tell one of your friends, dude. Just one of your friends. Okay, that's it. Let's change other people's life. And if you really think you got value at this, join my IM Mastermind. It's a pre-launch. Again, it's $197. If you go to my website, we'll give you exactly what you get. But basically, we're going to be meeting once a week right now for the promotion. Right? I'm going to assess your business. Once a month, I'm going to evaluate your business. We're going to have the round table with a bunch of other hungry people and entrepreneurs. We're going to have the Facebook, all right? And we're going to be able to learn from you and you learn from me. And you guys could just download my brain of 25 years of doing entrepreneur. I've never had a job. I've been doing this since high school, guys. Hustle and bustle, fucking naysayer, and fuck it bang, dude. See you later, guys.